Thank you. Are my lashes still on?
Yeah, you're good. You're beautiful.
Thank you. Appreciative. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Amaya. So today's video is going to be a dupes video. I have never done a dupes video before, mostly because I own mostly drugstore makeup. I don't own a whole lot of high-end, so I didn't really have a whole lot of products to actually dupe. But lately I've been finding a few things. There's some high-end and drugstore, and then there is some more like drugstore to drugstore dupes. In this video, everything is pretty much high-end to drugstore. So I'm going to be duping on color, formula, but mostly color. I know a lot of times people like formula dupes or color dupes, or like they have to be exact dupes. For me, I really like having color dupes because normally if I want something, I want that color, not necessarily the formula. So I am going to be duping mostly on color, but I will mention if the formula is similar or different, stuff like that. But do expect color dupes in this video. So yeah, I have 6 dupes to share with you. Alright, I'm sorry, 5 dupes and a wild card.
Yeah.
Is that how it goes? Okay, wow. 5 dupes and a wild card. Anyways, stopping rambling, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to share with you are actually 2 of my favorite products, and I'm really not surprised that they are dupes because they're 2 of my favorite products. This is the Balm Desert from The Balm and Aphrodisiac from ColourPop. You guys might have seen me mention this in my Ride or Die tag as one of my favorite bronzers, because it is definitely one of my favorite bronzers / contour colors. It's a nice reddish toned color. Let me swatch it for you right here. It's nice and red toned. It's not orangey at all. And the Balm Desert was one of my favorites of 2015. I mentioned that. And when I was thinking about these, I'm like, they're both like rosy reddish toned sort of colors. I wonder if they're dupes. So I swatched them, and lo and behold, they're pretty much exact dupes. Other than the formula, the ColourPop one has that gel sort of ColourPop formula where it's not a cream, it's not a powder, it's somewhere in between. And the Balm Desert is just the pure like powder formula. Other than that, they are pretty much the exact same colors. Okay, so the next one I'm really excited to share with you guys, and it is a highlighter dupe. So I have the Becca Cosmetics and Jaclyn Hill Shimmering Skin Perfector Mineral Blush Champagne Splits. This one is in the shade Prosecco Pop and Amaretto. And I'm going to be duping Prosecco Pop. So I actually have a few dupes, but I'm going to share one of them. So Prosecco Pop, if you guys don't know, is Jaclyn Hill's second child, I guess you could say. It's a really pretty pure gold highlight. It is absolutely stunning, especially on like medium skin tones in the summer. And the dupe I found is Electric Slide from ColourPop, which is right here, as you guys can see. If I had to say anything, I would say that Electric Slide is a slight bit more like on the champagne whitish side, but they are pretty darn similar. Now the only issue with this is that Prosecco Pop in the champagne splits and Electric Slide are both limited edition. Electric Slide I don't think is available anymore, and the Prosecco Pop and Amaretto split, these are both still available. So if you have Electric Slide, I would not say that you need to spend any money buying Prosecco Pop if you're like, oh my gosh, I need to have that highlight, like everyone's talking about it. If you have Electric Slide already, I do not think that you need to buy it. The only difference, again, is that ColourPop has a more like gel formula, and the Champagne Split is a pure powder formula. Okay, so next, this is a really awesome dupe. This is Champagne Pop from Becca Cosmetics. Now, I love Jaclyn Hill. I love her so much. So I'm not trying to gyp her out of any money or anything like that. I'm just saying for those of you that are on a budget and want the same color, but you're not attached to the actual Champagne Pop highlighter yourself, you can find that color elsewhere. Champagne Pop is a gorgeous, like, peachy, golden champagne sort of color. It's a very unique highlight. It looks very dark, but on the cheeks it's just so beautiful and light and gorgeous. And the dupe I found for it is actually an eyeshadow, and this is the e.l.f. Baked eyeshadow in the shade Enchanted. So these two look very similar, and when you swatch them, they are very similar. The only difference is that the eyeshadow is actually a slight duochrome. It has a slight more pink shift to it. It has a more like pinky goldy shift. And even though the e.l.f. one is a baked eyeshadow, it is a very smooth baked eyeshadow. It's not crumbly or scratchy or anything like that. So the formulas are actually very similar. Okay, so this next dupe is actually a dupe for another Becca highlighter, and this one is in the shade Moonstone. So this is a little mini one, but this is Moonstone right here. It's a very pretty yellowy vanilla sort of highlight. And it's very fair and very gorgeous, as you guys can see right there. It's an absolutely stunning highlight. And I found a dupe for it in the eyeshadow from Catrice. This is a Glam Fusion Powder to Gel eyeshadow in To Be Continued. So I'm going to swatch these right next to each other. It's pretty darn similar. The only discrepancy I see is that To Be Continued has a slight bit more of a white gold, and this is more of a nude gold. But other than that, they are absolutely stunning, and they look so similar. Again, the formula is very similar. I know the Catrice one says powder to gel, but honestly, it just kind of looks like a powder to me. I'm not sure where the gel is coming in, but they look pretty similar to me. So next is the eyeshadow dupe, and I really wanted to share this with you guys. I know I should have stuck to just highlighters or blushes or whatnot, but I really needed to share this one with you guys because it's a really great find. So this is the shade Matte Kumar from the Meet Matrimony palette. I got this sample inside of my Ipsy, but this shade was one of the things that actually drew me into the Meet Matrimony palette. It's such a gorgeous, creamy, buttery, reddish purpley sort of shade, and you don't find a lot of these at the drugstore or even in palettes in general. They're really hard to make work, and they're just a really hard shadow in general. Those reddish purples are hard. But I found a dupe, and this is Makeup Geek Bitten. So let me swatch Bitten right underneath. I mean, do we see a difference? Because I don't really see a difference. They are literally the exact same shadow. They are the same sort of creamy texture. If anything, the Meet Matrimony one is a slight bit creamier, but they swatch almost identically. They apply to the eye. So gorgeous. They're both very blendable and beautiful. You can build them up to really make their true pigment, or you can leave them a little bit lighter. They are just gorgeous colors in general, and I'm so happy that I found a dupe because I was considering buying this whole palette just for this little shade. Okay, so for my wild card time, this is a palette dupe. Yes, a palette dupe. Not the entire palette, but the blushes in the palette. So, this is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill Champagne Glow palette versus the e.l.f. blush palette. It almost pains me to say this a little bit because they're so similar when I swatch them. You guys aren't even going to believe this. The Champagne Glow palette comes with 3 shades of blush, Rosé Spritz, Amaretto, and Pamplemousse. Right here. Those colors right there. Really stunning, gorgeous blush shades. When I was looking at this, I was looking for color dupes until I realized that you could pretty much get the same look for blush using the e.l.f. blush palette. This is in the shade Light, by the way. So I'm going to swatch mainly this shade down here. Has a gold sparkle in it. As you can see, Rosé Spritz has a bit more of a duochrome to it, but this one has that same sort of sheen to it. This one is much more gold, but it has a similar sheen. This one right here, this like brownish color, is almost exactly the same as Amaretto. Like they're like exactly the same. And then lastly, for Pamplemousse, we have this watermelon shade right here. These two very similar, especially if you take a little bit of this shade right here with some of the glitter in it and mix them together, you get pretty much the exact same shade. Other than Rosé Spritz being more of like a gold sort of shift to it, They are exactly the same. The blushes in here are exactly the same. And the e.l.f. blush palette, you get this other shade. Ooh, I almost dropped it. You get another lightish pink shade. Okay, so that's it for this video, you guys. Those are all the dupes I had for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Let me know what other sort of things you want me to try to dupe. I can see. If you have any dupe suggestions, also leave them down below. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah.